Let's talk about approach shoes and how they can really help out our alpine scrambling. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jason. Today we are talking about approach shoes, and here's why. Living where I live in Colorado, almost every summer I start to get questions about scrambling. The peak baggers who have spent the early summer hiking to the top of our state's 14,000 foot or around 4,300 meter peaks are starting to be enticed by putting their hands on the rock and testing themselves on slightly more technical routes. This pattern is so regular that I did an entire video on introducing people to Class 3 and Class 4 scrambling. There's a link in the description. Anyway, the questions I get from people new to scrambling are most often about gear. Will I need a rope? Not until you know how to rig a rappel. Should I have a helmet? Yes, steeper cliffs mean more rockfall danger. But what they often fail to ask about, and what I often emphasize, are shoes. The first scramble I ever did was in my hikers, and I remember not trusting my feet as I skirted over a particularly airy section. Why? Well, hikers aren't optimized for gripping rock. Funny enough, that's where rock climbing shoes come in. But climbing shoes are terrible for just about anything you want to do in them that isn't climbing. So that's where approach shoes split the difference and why they are so good for scrambling. Let's look at the general design features of most approach shoes to see why they are the piece of gear that I think most correlates with a fun scrambling experience. We start with the rubber on the shoe soles. In essence, rubber exists on a continuum between hard and durable to soft and grippy. Obviously, hard rubber can stand up to many miles of abrasion better than soft rubber, but soft rubber conforms around uneven surfaces, creating a larger area of surface contact between your shoe and the rock. More surface area contact means more friction and therefore more hold. So, hikers use a harder rubber in order to be able to go 500 miles before wearing through the soles. Most approach shoes are manufactured by companies that also make climbing shoes. They have lots of know-how around rubber compounds, either in-house or from their rubber supplier, and so apply rubber that will be grippier than hikers, but more durable than climbing shoes. Next, and relatedly, most approach shoes will have a spot under the big toe that is devoid of tread. This is essentially for the same purpose of maximizing rubber-to-rock contact. When we really need to stand on a small edge, we don't want a lug minimizing the amount of rubber we can get on the rock. But to make use of that flat rubber that really is a small section of the sole, we need to be able to put a lot of weight on just our toes. If we look at this in the extreme, to push off a small edge in my very flexible trail runners, I need to engage my calf muscles a lot. But with a stiff shoe that has less flexibility at the toe, the shoes do a great deal of the work, reducing calf fatigue so that I can climb longer. It also means that as I push up, the very front of the shoe digs into the edge rather than peels back from the edge, making me less likely to slip. That stiffness has drawbacks when it comes to just the regular hiking though, as we get less of a rocker motion as the foot rolls forward. Another place we'll find trade-offs for approach shoes is in the amount of cushion. If we aren't talking about minimalist hikers, most hiking shoes will have more cushion than approach shoes because there is an improvement in climbing ability when you can get more of the feel of the micro features of rock under your foot. That obviously affects the comfort that comes from many steps of carrying significant weight. Of course, there are differences in approach shoes, with some being stiffer or less stiff and others having harder or softer rubber or more or less cushion. But now we are making micro adjustments in the middle space between hikers and climbing shoes. Those micro adjustments are how we dial in to find the approach shoe that is best for us. For those who are wondering, I actually have quite a few approach shoes to make those micro adjustments I just alluded to, and so dial them into the specifics of a particular scramble. I wear a lot of La Sportiva because I have low volume feet. Those with wider feet may want to look into Scarpa or other brands. Maybe the three approach shoes I turn to most are the La Sportiva Boulder X, which I use for longer approaches or scrambles with more hiking than scrambling due to their support and cushion. The La Sportiva TX2 Evo for kind of the opposite, short approaches to a lot of scrambling, and particularly scrambling on slab rather than edges because the shoe has so little cushion and it is comparatively flexible for an approach shoe, allowing it to conform around the tiny features we get on slab. The La Sportiva TX Guide, which hikes well enough but climbs particularly well on edges and hand-sized cracks due to their burlier and stiffer toe when compared to the TX2 Evo. So if we want something that will offer improved security on rock without losing all of the comfort that we want for the hiking portion of our journey, approach shoes find a balance that might be worth exploring. Do you have a favorite scrambling shoe? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. You can check out that video I mentioned that introduces newcomers to Class 3 and Class 4 scrambling, or maybe check out our technical scrambling series if you want to take your more advanced scrambling to the next level. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.